Okay, we are going to be learning a little bit today about area and perimeter. We're going to be able to, first of all, give a definition for what is area, what is perimeter, and then we're also going to be able to find the area and perimeter of rectangles or squares. We're going to start with perimeter because that's something that we have already done this year. And we need to first think, what is perimeter? Well, perimeter is the distance around the outside of a shape. So that means that if I were to go all the way around this rectangle, that would be considered the perimeter. Now there's two steps to finding perimeter. The first one is to measure each side. Okay, so it looks like two sides have already been measured for me. I know one side is 8 inches and the other side is 3. It didn't tell me these two, but I know that if this top side is 8 inches, the bottom is going to be 8 inches, and if this side is 3, this side is going to be 3. So I went ahead, I did step 1, I measured each side. Step number 2, I'm going to add them up. Once I add them up, I can find the perimeter. So I know 8 plus 3 is 11. 8 plus 3 is 11. 11 and 11 is 22. So the perimeter of this shape would be 22 inches. Okay, now we're going to flip and we're going to talk a little bit about area. Okay, so now we're going to kind of switch focus on area. First, we need to decide what is area. We know perimeter is the distance around the outside of a shape. Well, area is the space inside of a shape. So perimeter is talking about outside. Area is talking about the space that is inside of a shape. And we find area differently than we find perimeter. Perimeter is asking us how long or how many inches would it be, how many feet would it be all the way around. Area is asking us about the inside. And whenever we measure area, we're always going to measure it in some kind of square units. Think about area as asking how many squares will fit in to a shape. So the formula for area is very simple. To find area, you are going to do length times width. That's how you're going to solve for area. So I'm going to look at this rectangle and I see that I have a length of 8 and a width of 3. To solve this, I would do 8 times 3. Well, I know 8 times 3 is 24. But remember, it's not 24 inches. That's how we measure perimeter. This has to be in square inches because it's asking us how many squares could fit inside. And I could fit, oh, look, there you go. We can multiply length and width to find the area. 3 times 8 is 24. 24 square inches. That's how I could fit 24 squares inside of this shape. Okay, so let's do a little more practice with finding the area and the perimeter, and then we're going to look at a real world example. So let's go ahead, we'll roll the dice here. Okay, so if I had a length of 7 and a width of 3, and I wanted to find the area, well, we know that our formula to find area is length times width. So to find area, I would do 7 times 3, and I know that 7 times 3 is 21. Therefore, the area of this shape would be 21, and let's pretend that we're talking about centimeters, that these were all measured in centimeters. It would be square centimeters. That would be the way that we measure our area. Now, how would we find the perimeter? Perimeter, we know, is a two-step process. We measure each side and we add them up. Well, I know the measurement of two sides, and I know that if this top side is 7, the bottom is going to be 7, and if the left is 3, the right will be 3. So I can add just another 7 and another 3. 7 plus 3, 7 plus 3, 10 and 10 is 20. And again, if we were measuring in centimeters, the perimeter would be 20 centimeters. These are not measured in square units because we're figuring out the outside. area is measured in square units because we're figuring out how many squares would fit inside of this shape. Okay, let's go ahead and get a real world example.
Okay, we're going to be talking about area and perimeter today, and we're going to look at this example square that I made on the board. So we're going to start by talking about perimeter, and you already know that perimeter is the distance surrounding. Perimeter is going to be measuring the outside of that shape. Now we're going to be measuring in feet because each one of these squares is a foot. So we know the steps to measure perimeter are first we need to measure each side, then second we have to add them up. Well, if I look at one of these sides, I see that there's going to be 3 feet. 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot. 3 feet on one side. Since this is a square, I know that every side is going to be the exact same. So I have 3 feet, 3 feet, 3 feet, and 3 feet. I'm going to add those up to find perimeter. I'm going to do 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 3 is 9, plus 3 is 12. I know the perimeter of this square will be 12 feet. Now I'm going to think about area. Now area is a little bit different than perimeter, and an area is talking about space inside of a shape. Perimeter is talking about the outside. Area talks about the space within a shape. So this example is kind of simple. We can see that there are going to be 9 squares that are inside of this bigger square. And when we measure area, we're only talking in square units because we're asking how many squares could fit inside. There's also another way we can figure out area. One is to count the squares if we have them. The other is to use the area formula. And the area formula is length times width. So looking at this square, I see 3 on the length, and I see 3 feet on the width. I can multiply length times width. 3 times 3 is 9. And I can get my area. My area is 9 square feet. Whenever you're naming area, it must be named in square feet or square inches because you're figuring out how many squares we fit. So this would be 9 square feet instead of length times width.
Okay, so now that you saw that example, just a quick review. We know that perimeter is the distance around the outside of a shape. We find that by measuring each side and then adding them up. Area is the amount of space inside of a shape. We find that by doing our length times width. Here's what I want you to bring to school with you. I want you to find an object at your house. It can be any object, a poster in your room, a book that you have on one of the shelves. It could be your TV, whatever it is you find. Grab a sheet of paper, write down what you found, and I want you to measure the perimeter and the area of that shape and then bring that into class with you.